Recognize my good friend, the gentleman from Tennessee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Madam Secretary. It's a privilege and pleasure to have you before us today. I sincerely appreciate the visit that we had last week in my office. We discussed a lot of great topics, but thank you for hearing me out and about my commitment to computer science literacy in America, particularly in the underserved areas, rural, inner city. There's just a great need, and thank you. There's a great coalition out there, tremendous bipartisan support. As a matter of fact, with the chairman's great help, we got language in this bill supporting computer science literacy, and I sure hope that strong bipartisan commitment continues. So I appreciate that so much. Madam Secretary, I know you're aware America needs 1 million more STEM professionals by 2022 to hold jobs ranging from computing to the national security and defense fields. Additionally, it is estimated that we are only graduating about 10% of the computer science professionals that our country needs to compete globally. And by leaving these jobs unfilled, we are vulnerable to cyber attack and other threats to our national security. Additionally, I regularly meet with employers from my district, and there are an increasing number of job openings with state-of-the-art technology. These jobs require specialized technical training, and I'm hearing from employers that there are not enough of our workforce that has the skills necessary to be considered for these technical jobs. Thus, I was pleased in September when President Trump signed a memo on creating pathways to jobs by increasing access to STEM and computer science education. Central to this memorandum was directing you to make STEM and computer science one of your top priorities, including the goal of devoting at least $200 million per year of grant funding toward this effort. Madam Secretary, can you please update the committee on the progress of this goal and whether you believe this goal will be met in fiscal 18 and how?
Thank you, Congressman, for that question and for your commitment to STEM and particularly to computer science education. As you've noted, this is not only an economic issue, it's also a matter for national security. And I'm pleased to say that this budget has proposed a $200 million investment in STEM-related programs and subjects. And we seek to use $180 million of that for competitive grants to support evidence-based innovations in K-12 education. And I would argue that the focus really needs to be primarily, or to a large extent, on computer science, on attracting kids from a very, very young age to begin learning coding and taking up computer science at a very young age. There's a very strong commitment on the part of this administration to not only recognizing the need, but also filling and responding to that need.
Thank you. Thank you for that response. The Presidential Memorandum also called on you to explore appropriate administrative actions to increase the focus specifically on computer science in existing K-12 and post-secondary programs, such as through guidance documents and other technical assistance that could support high-quality computer science education. Can you please update the committee on what you've done to date in carrying out these actions and what you have planned in the coming year?
Yes, commensurate with the budget proposal, we are putting together proposals to actually address this through appropriate guidance and appropriate FAQs and other information to help support state and local initiatives in this area.
Thank you. I have one last question. How do you believe Congress could help in your efforts to increase STEM and especially computer science education? What can we do to help?
Well, I think continuing to talk about the need and the opportunities. It's clear that there are tens of thousands of opportunities for students in, well, high-paying jobs in computer science. And you know, maybe members of Congress need to demonstrate their interest in and commitment to this in creative and unique ways to draw attention to it. I'm just thinking that perhaps a coding class for some members of Congress that are really interested in it might be an interesting way to help draw attention to it.
Well,
just off the top of my head on that one.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. I'm actually all in. I had second graders in one of our inner city schools in Chattanooga last year teach me how to code. It was
You,
tremendous.
yes.
So thank you. Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I